Wit, everybody that comes out. All right, Wes, Roman, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you. This is awesome.
All right, so
that you're instilling into your program and into your team?
Yeah, truth be told, I probably don't have enough time to explain all of it. But a couple of things that probably immediately stick out to me was, we were super fortunate, and I've said it since we've done it. Coach Handler never probably got the credit he deserved with our group for how good of a job he did with us. I think the thing that stuck out to me still is relationally how good he was with us. We had such good relationships, and we still do to this day, all of us. And that was something that, as an 18, 17-year-old kid, you might not necessarily realize how special that is for a coach to be that way. And then after graduating, and now me doing the same thing, that has meant a lot to me over the years and certainly helped us that year. And the other thing really that I feel like was just so influential for our team that year was, the golf wasn't necessarily the issue for our team. We had a lot of kids that played a lot of golf. It was more so, when I was 18, 19-year-old, you think every shot is the end of the world. He was so good at keeping things in perspective for us, keeping us even-headed. If we played bad, it was okay. And he was good at just keeping us in the moment. And both of those are things that I try to do with anything I coach.
Very good. And I knew that was probably what your answer was going to be, and I expected that. It was a great answer. Golf is very interesting. You've got to play each shot for its own value. The one behind it's over, the one in front of it's not happened yet. So it's one of the most interesting sports. And for that reason,
All right, Roman, we'll wrap up with you here. Last question. You played in a highly competitive need score this summer. How has that helped prepare you for your sophomore season? Obviously, you talked about what round you had today on the front nine. 35, which I think I shot 35 for like 3 holes in high school. So I'm impressed by that, especially you as a sophomore. How did that help you seeing other golfers play in that tournament, getting ready for this season, putting into that second place? Hang on. Well, Roman, I know everyone here, Moondog, us here at the Union Sports Network, wish you the best of luck this season. Coach Flagler, we wish you the best of luck as well. Hope to get a repeat performance soon of your senior year. We'd love to hang out the banner in the gym. And I know it's something you all work for, and it's hard doing it too late, but I think we can do it. So, all right. That'll wrap up our golf segment here on the Union High School Coaches Show. We're going to step out, take a commercial break. We'll be right back here with James Hamilton and Cross Country. Stay with us.
He said both those lines are cut out.
2 wireless ones? Wireless ones? Hey, let's get another wired mic. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. Where's it at? They're in the box.
The box is on that wall.
Secret Insurance, with 6 locations including Quickstone Gap, Lodge, Pennington Gap, and Gate City, Virginia, has all your insurance needs covered with Erie Insurance. Erie offers the best coverage.
We got it. We said it quit working. Will you need that?
Auto line for business insurance needs. Start your free quote today at SeagroupInsurance.com. Or call us at 276-523-4898. Secret and Erie Insurance.
Did you restart? started again.
Yeah.
I say,
Yeah.
Got muted. Okay.
Which one is that? Is it this one?
Fresh bakery items.
30 seconds. That's what we're doing.
Mountain Empire Community College is your starting point for success. Affordable, close to home, and filled with support. This is where your future begins. Wherever you're headed, we will help you get there. Mountain Empire
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You guys ready?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 2025 High School Coaches Show. Pictured on your screen right now, our cheerleaders are highlighting some of our sponsors that are sponsoring us on the Union Sports Network. We've got Mountain Empire Community College, Southwest Insurance Agency, and the Town of Big Stone Gap and Big Stone Gap Visitor Center. Bill, plenty of time if you'd like to get on board with the network. Shoot us a message on Facebook, call the high school, we'll get you in touch with us. You do not want to miss what's coming up here with Union Sports Network. All right, so now, Coach, we've got our cross country team up here. Head coach James Hamilton and senior Aiden Bright.
we go here and talk a little bit about cross country.
No. Just use the wire. We'll have to.
All right, ready to go here and talk a little bit about cross country with James Hamilton. Coach, we've been very successful in cross country over here with many titles, including 2 state titles. You can't show up the first day of school and be successful in cross country. I'm 100% sure of that. What are we doing right now to get ready for that first meeting?
The athletes are running an off season. One of the miles, girls going about 40 plus miles, 40% gaining off week. And also, I would also say the success in the track program. Basically, 4 weeks off a year. Year-round running process where you got to stay consistent, trust the process, a lot of those miles.
All right, Aiden, how long have you been running cross country? What made you want to start running competitively? And do you have any kind of inspiration, family, anybody local that you kind of said, hey, they ran cross country, something that I want to do as well? Very good. Hang on, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. We're good? We're back now?
Sorry.
You're fine.
All right, let's go back, Coach, to what you said. You stated they were running 40 miles a week. What part of that's cross country, long distance? What part's interval? What part's sprints? Help everybody out. What goes into the training for cross country? We're all familiar with, more familiar with football, volleyball. So what about cross country? What break that down for us? What did you really do in practice each day?
Well, in summer, it's literally baseball, you run slow, you take generally, when the season starts, that's when we're building, 2 days a week, hard days, and that's the thing, just stress that some of their athletes, it's season day, 3 days a week, it's easy run. It's a hard day, it's a skillful day, it's a speed day, it's hard day.
Coach, our girls team's coming off a regional title last year. What's it going to take to repeat as regional champions? And what's it going to take to get the boys for that spot?
I'm glad you asked. First of all, the girls, we returned the new working last year. We got a good addition. We're 18 and we're state with the conference. 17 there. Good. With the boys, we'll team this year. Aiden here, Lance, and the waiver, 2 other guys, Ryan Orange, one of the young guys. So, with that being said, I think the boys and the girls should be right there in the month come October.
Now, let's talk about that for a minute. We talked about the Pro 2. Just like we talked about the golf a minute ago, it's a team game. You know, it looks individualized. Go through, for those of us that don't know, the scoring. How do you get a score in cross country? It's different touchdowns and runs and that. How do you, at the end of the meet, how do you add up the score and how do you determine who wins, what you place, and go through that process?
It's very similar to golf. It's the lowest score wins. Every person should beat their nets. First score would be 15. That'd be everybody said that. I think it happened back 2019. The boys won the regional title. First score was 15. That's when they placed top 5 runners. Top 5. And for our girls, that's the one thing this season. Every place counts. Amongst the team, we have to have one people for 5 months. Through the line, go to the shoot, every pass counts. And all that come down to how we repeat.
All right, Aiden, I'm going to put you on the spot. We're do our go home question, okay? I know I didn't prep you on this one, but practicing for cross country, you're running all through Big Stone. You got earbuds in. No, you just go with the regular noise of the land. Is the runner's high real clean? You kind of get that? Absolutely. What's the longest you've ever ran?
The week after the Union Half Marathon 2 years ago. And just to do it, we're trying to raise it.
Then just got to the point where you just want to complete it. Yeah. I did 21 miles once. It was in my truck. The northern background after that way. Wasn't easy then, so I can imagine on 2 feet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give another round of applause for our cross country coach James Hamilton and senior Aiden Wright. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step out, take another commercial break. We will continue the coaches show with, I'm going to call him Coach Stidham. I think he'll appreciate the moniker. But the head of our theater department, Trey Stidham, will be right back with us out of the break. Stay with us on the Union Sports Network.
They all.
All right, give me a good picture. This time we remember who we're talking about, but also I'll put it How much time we got? 2 minutes? Still?
We're getting audio from the camera for some reason.
Do what now?
The camera's picking up audio for some reason.
All right, hey guys, quick announcement, okay? We're starting to pick up some feedback on the camera audio, so if we can kind of keep it to a dull roar to the back a little bit. It kind of got a little muffled during that one. Just remember, after we announce the coaches, in this case, Coach Stidham and Aiden, give me a good round of applause. We kind of forgot cross country there until the end. Let's start it with a big applause and we'll end it with a big applause, all right?
Yeah, we can. We can.
No, you're fine.
You ready?
What? Okay, let me get over here. Tell me when we're ready.
Whenever you are.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back inside Moondog Brick Oven Pizza. Here, Big Stone guys, as we've got the 2025 Coaches Show. 11 days here in front of us. Thank you to some of our sponsors, Moondog Brick Oven of Big Stone and Valid Health. Thank you, ladies, so much. All right, now to the table, we have got the head of our theater department, Trey Stidham and Aiden Bowman.
I won't go ahead here in a minute, but I'm a little bit nervous. Partner, I've never been on stage with a public speaking teacher, so I wonder if the whole time that we're going here, we're going to speak in health afterwards.
Well, what you don't know is I did ask Trey to give us some feedback and some notes, not necessarily on me, but on your performance here. You know, I've got some offers for some substitutions in for game day, so, you know, high standards need to live up here, Coach.
Mr. Stidham probably needs to be careful on his box. So he might need to he might need to keep those comments very positive, let's say that. So we are here with Tracy and Aiden Bowman, representatives of our theater program. We're very proud that they were included. We're just going to take a minute to talk to them a few things as their season gets underway.
Trey, do me a favor, talk about all the things you oversee at Union First from a theater standpoint. For those who may not be familiar with everything that we offer, I know I'm kind of new as a new parent to the theater program. Shout out Riley. Okay, just kind of let us know what all goes into one act and everything it is that you do on a yearly basis.
Sure. So for our fall season, we do our one act program, and when you hear the word one act, that's just we're doing a play.
Yeah.
And so our one act season is kind of like our football team. So we keep that play quiet. We don't share out loud what we're doing. We prep, and then we go to competition with it. Our first level is the district level, the Mountain 7 district, and then you have to be in the top 2 there to advance. And then if you go there, we go to the second, which is the region, and you have to be number 1 in our region to go to the state level.
Our region's pretty tough.
And our region is pretty tough. Yeah. Yes. All of it is pretty hard and they're tough. In the spring, I am the speech coordinator, which used to be forensics. And this last year, we had to change it from forensics to speech. I guess there was misconception that we were looking at dead bodies and doing all that stuff. But speech is basically forensics, so we have 3 categories of speeches, and then the other 7 categories are performance-based. And that's all individualized. So it's not a big group. You're either by yourself or you're with a duo partner. And in our district, we have one big region, actually. We skip the district, and we have a region competition. And then after the regional competition, in your category, you place top 1, 2, or 3, and then you get points for your team to win. And then we go to the super region competition. And then if you advance to the top 3 at the super region, you can go to the state level. Yep.
All right, so, Aiden, all right, what first year are you in theater? What are some of your influences? And do you hope to continue your theater as you go into college, graduate high school? I know, there's all kinds of playhouses here in New York, especially shout out to the Barter Theater and Abingdon, not being a little Barter. Just tell me a little bit about what pulled you into theater.
Now, before you answer that, as middle school principal, I don't know that I've ever heard you speak for 4 years. And then I go to this spring performance last year, and there's this Oscar-worthy performance of Aiden up on the stage, and I paid him a huge compliment. It was amazing, especially coming from a kid I didn't know, I've never heard speak before. So before you answer my partner's question there, tell us about, or go ahead and answer his question, we'll come back.
Okay. What really drew me into theater to begin with was I watched the summer arts program that Wise County has, and they did Hunchback. It was really good, and it made me really want to do a program, get into acting. So I did Matilda after that, and it was really fun. It got me really into theater, so I just got in after that.
Okay, so I know last season's play was The Little Mermaid. What was your role that blew ECM your way?
I was Sebastian in Little Mermaid. It was really fun to get up there and sing and be crazy. I usually don't talk a lot. I'm a very quiet person, but it was fun to get out there and be myself.
Yeah, it was amazing. Now, the opposite of you being quiet is your coach, Mr. Stitt. All right? We are all in here aware that he has a very big personality. I'm supposed to observe him as a principal and a teacher. I will not go in his room. It makes me nervous. I have to stay as far away from that wing as I can. But what's it like practicing or rehearsing with Mr. Stidham on a day-to-day basis?
Well, it's scary at some point. It's not really scary, but it's overwhelming. He's always running around. I think he sometimes has more fun than we do. It is good though. we do get a lot done. You make sure that it's not super stressful. You make sure that it's fun. It's really good.
You know, Trey, we were just talking about the spring musical and the Little Mermaid. I know a lot of people are excited. I still, you know, have kids singing in the house under the sea and everything else. That's kind of the big draw in the spring. Is your spring play. Have you selected a show for that yet? Are you willing to put that out there on the spot?
Oh, sure, yeah, I'll share that one. For the spring musical this year, we are staying underwater and we are doing SpongeBob SquarePants the musical.
That'll be a big draw.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
That'll be awesome. I know a lot of folks will kind of see that and be like, SpongeBob music, okay, I need to get to Union High School.
Absolutely.
So we'll make sure that we get a lot of publicity for that one. Try to get out. Maybe we can get a game day.
That'd be awesome.
I'll be there anyway.
Hey, let's go back to your to the performance last spring. We talked about practicing cross country, practicing golf. How much you have to practice for that? Because it's amazing to me. Like, first of all, can you remember how many lines you had, and how long did it take you to prepare for that? Because I know it had to be a lot. I mean, it just is mind-boggling watching that and all you guys staying on cue and hitting your marks and remembering all your lines. It's amazing to me when I watch something like that.
Well, it does take a lot of practice. It's like 2 months. It's a long time. It is difficult to memorize lines, of course, for me, because I like to push it off until I have to. But yeah, it gets scary near the end, but then you get up there, adrenaline, it pushes through, and you have fun. You get out there, dance, it's amazing.
That's cool. How many lines did you have? Do you remember?
I don't remember. Yeah, I have a lot.
It's amazing when I watch something like that. Yeah, yeah.
All right, Trey, before we let you all go, and you leave on my last 2 seconds, tell me what you would tell upcoming students or students who have thought about doing theater. Because thinking about doing theater, getting on stage in front of hundreds of people, being recorded, it's a whole different musical aspect. What would you tell anyone that's out there thinking about doing theater?
It's honestly one of the best decisions you'll ever make. The arts, since you asked me the question, I'm going to take the opportunity to do it. The arts are so beneficial in so many ways. Not only are we in the business of singing and dancing and acting, but we're making better humans. We are making better communicators. So much more than just we're going to go and do these 8 counts of dance for 3 hours, and we're going to sing this piece of music for 3 hours. It really is. And when you're together, like Aiden said, 2 months, 2 nights out of the week for 4 hours, you really become a family. And that is one of the big things about the theater that I love. That we are a family at the end, and we are a union family. That's always after the bears. That's always our motto. But the arts, if you're not afraid to act like a fool, get on stage and make fun of yourself and others, it's a good place.
I'd like both of us to leave. I know that I'll be looking forward to attending all the things, and especially when we come to the spring concert. We appreciate y'all coming on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, theater head Trey Stidham and Aiden Bowman. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step out for this and we'll be right back here with Coach Black.
We're good now.
Let me still
Still coming. I can try it. Let's see if it works. Say something. All right, here we go.
Here, highlighting some of our sponsors here. We've got Ironworks Fitness, Double D Tire, and Dr. Tony Potter and Brittany Upper. Thank you, ladies. All right, now welcome to the table. Head coach of Union Volleyball, Megan Blagg, and seniors Taylor Hughes and Zoe King.
Someone did for a long time, coaching was very difficult. You learn a lot in your first year, a lot about everything from how to handle issues to specific plays to how to coordinate, all kinds of things. Tell us how what you learned, how it's going to go for your second season. What you learned in your first season that you didn't know before you did it first season.
Well, I learned a whole lot, really. I mean, I knew the game, obviously, but knowing the game and teaching the game is a whole different story. And I had to learn, like, how to run, like, everybody as a unit, and then who individually it's just been a whole lot of learning, really.
Yeah, I mean, you are obviously a very good player, growing up, but that's a drop in the bucket to coaching, isn't it? That's just one small fraction of what it takes to coach in the league.
Oh, yeah, it's just, you can know the game all day, but if you can't, like, teach it to someone else, then you can't be a coach.
But let's do this. Let's talk about your roster just a minute. You know, you came on last year, your first season, a little bit later in the season, I think, than what you would have liked to. And so now you've got a full season under your belt. You've got rules coming out. They have not been here last year, injured. Talk about what you look forward to with this roster coming up. Obviously, you know, we've got Taylor, we've got Zoe here. But who else are you looking at to come in and make an impact for this upcoming season?
Well, everybody comes in and makes an impact, like, in their own specific way, you know? It takes, like, everybody on the court and everybody, and during practice, just doing what they're good at, and that just makes the game. Like, everybody is good at so many different things, like, it's pretty easy to just say, hey, go get the ball, or anything like that. Everybody's pretty well-rounded and everything.
All right, so I'm going to direct this to both ladies, Taylor, Zoe. All right, so you've both been playing volleyball for a little while now. This is your senior year. What all are you all hoping to accomplish? Obviously, everybody thinks wins immediately, you know, just win. What are you all hoping to leave your legacy here at Union High School and for the upcoming girls to look at?
You know, on a personal behalf, I think that I would like to bring in the teamwork and the confidence because I've struggled with confidence in the past and you really can't win, especially in volleyball. Volleyball is a lot about confidence and you basically play better when you have more confidence. And I'm just really looking forward to this season and I think personally I would like to do better with confidence and just have a good overall team.
Something I'll tell you coming up is to mostly on the shake off the team that's up and come ready to play, be confident, and be a good teammate. It's a very good way, and I also feel on that this season as well.
Very good. All right, now, Taylor, so tell us what a practice is like. We've done this with every group that's been up here. What do you do at practice in volleyball? Go through that very quickly, and well, not quickly, but tell us what from the time you get there to the time Coach writes up, what are the kind of things you work on to do?
And please make it good because Coach Black looks like she's about to stress over there. Talk about practice.
Well, we run a lot. I would say we start off with more fundamental drills, because even though you do fundamentals your whole life, nobody's ever gonna be perfect at the small stuff, and that's just something that we need to work on. We do hitting lines, we do serving, and I also want to say that I think it is great to have a coach that comes and practices with us. Having her play against us and play with us helps us a lot, especially having a coach that plays college.
She's pretty volleyball player.
She's a lot better than us.
So what's your practice take like? Similar to Taylor?
Yeah, I run and work out.
All right, so
All right, now let's go back to what Taylor said there. She said that she's a lot better than us. Well, it's her job to, what are you doing to help them play like you did, like Tom still can? So as a coach, that's your job to take them and turn them into their version of you. So what are you doing now to help with that?
I'm just, with fundamental stuff, I mean, there's some things that you would think like, oh, well, I know how to do that, but then you get out and do it and you're like, well, wait a minute, was my elbow back, was my elbow down, all that stuff. There's a lot more technicality in hitting and passing and all that stuff than people think there is. So I'm just learning, taking my knowledge and like trying to pass it on to them to like the technical stuff, because once you put all the technicalities together, you'll be great. I mean, you'll be the best you can be.
There's a lot more technique than you think.
Yeah.
There is, yeah.
I've been really watching volleyball now for 6 years. And I'm gonna get something here. Volleyball is my favorite sport to cover. It really is. Nothing against football, nothing against basketball. But when there is a volley going on and both teams are laying out and you've got players hustling to the back line or hustling to get the hand down for a pancake, just trying to keep the ball in play. The excitement that feels from that, the excitement in the gym, it's something that I've got addicted to. I love it. I love watching it play. I So we need to get a lot more support out for union volleyball because the more energy in the building, the better you all play. Talk about how important it is, girls, both you, Zoe, and Taylor, about keeping the energy up, even when, let's say, a team's on a 5 or 6 point run, because it happens often, both sides. I know volleyball is really a game of runs, kick runs. Who can establish more than the other? Talk about how you all have to dig down and keep your team motivated.
Well, I believe that even if we're up 10 points and we just don't have a lot of energy, then it can just stumble really quick. I think energy is really important because it just shows that you're all there, you're one, you're a team, and you just have to be able to have everybody else's back because volleyball is a team sport, and you can't win just by yourself.
100%.
Joe, you want to follow up on that?
Definitely have to have a good attitude. If one has a bad attitude, then everybody just truly falls off. The team is just not the same. And I feel like if we just have to be on top of our teammates all the time and make sure we're playing together, not more individually.
All right, Coach, you're a second-year coach. Here's your chance. There's a lot of people here, many that might know you, some that don't. A lot of kids out here, a lot of people see this. What are you going to tell younger girls like my daughter that's in the 6th grade about playing volleyball? What makes it a great sport to play? What makes it fun to play? What do you want to tell them to build your numbers and to build your program?
Just to stick with it. I mean, volleyball is a little bit difficult to grasp, but once you grasp it and you understand it, it's so fun. Like the momentum that you're talking about with the energy. Once you have energy, the momentum gets going, and it's just a totally different game than if you're just out there with no energy whatsoever. It's just so fun, and you have your teammates, and it's just a fun game when the rally gets going and all that good stuff. Yeah, that's the fun part.
All right, last question, and you all can choose to not answer yet or if it's undecided. All right. Ace. What's our ace?
Fire in the hole.
Fire in the hole's back, baby. All right. All right, everybody get out to the Bear Den, support the Union Girls Volleyball. Come out, get the Fire in the Hole chant started. I'm telling you, it's crazy. When the adrenaline gets going, the energy gets going, it's one of the best times you can have. Let's give another applause to Megan Blagg, Zoe King, and Taylor Hughes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step out one more time, take another commercial break. We will be back with Union High School Band Director, Kimberly Sturgill, and her co-drum major. Stay with us on the Union Sports Network.
and gentlemen, welcome back to the Union High School Coaches Show here at Moondog. Rick Evans, the lovely ladies of Union Cheer, highlight some of our sponsors. We've got the Quad Truck, C Group Insurance, and Warren's Heating and Cooling. Thank you, ladies. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the table. Union High School Band Director Kimberly Sturgill and her co-drum majors Blake Gilly and Hannah Hampton. All right, first question. Marty, Walmart. You were the band director. I'm not going to say the word. You were the band director at Appalachia for a number of years. 14 years. You took over at Union after the consolidation. You were very successful at Appalachia. I think you were very successful. You had a great band. Cow Valley had a great band as well. Don't think that I'm the mean Cow Valley's band. Just working and band there was great.
I had BJ as a student at that time.
Exactly. So, how have you been able to sustain the success rolling from Appalachia into Union? Because I feel like when we consolidated, there was no hiccups there. It flowed so eloquently into the fight song coming in, to the band coming into the party. Everything that everyone knows that Union Band is now, you're responsible for it. What took your mind to get us to this point after such a long period of time?
So you talked about at the intersection. So at the beginning, when I found out that I was going to be at Union, I took some of the traditions that we had at Appalachia, and I really wanted to prepare and take the things that worked there and discuss maybe with the students from Cow Valley things that worked for them, combine those, and not only that, but create some new traditions. So one of the things I'm most proud of is that we have an original fight song. So if you don't know much about schools and bands and how fight songs come around, it's the song that's played when it's the King's Four and whatever. Most of those have a college fight song that they use as their school fight song. But I thought, we really need a fresh start. So I sat down in the band room at Appalachia before we closed, and I thought, this came to me, and I wrote what we call the Union Bar song, and it's our fight song, and it is one of the original fight songs, and none of the other schools in the area can lay claim to that. So we started our own traditions. The students they set out the crew that first year, they wanted to make a really good impression. And they had a tradition of excellence and hard work, camaraderie, family, and the traditions that they carried from the first year, they still continue to do that. I think it's just a family atmosphere and just a sense of pride. And not only that, but the community support that we get, administrative support, it just kind of helps the students further pump themselves up. They really want to, they feel like they always have something to go out and prove, and they're just being hardworking kids. And I'm very blessed for that.
So you brought both of your co-drum majors here.
Yes.
I'd ask you about this for the first time in over a decade.
Yes.
You had co-drum majors.
Correct.
What went into that decision this year?
Well, first of all, you may not know this probably, but we have two marching bands, and they consist of the same students. One band is students without much experience, and all the other students, anybody that wants to participate in performing at the football games, local parades, and whatnot. We have about 90 students ready to participate in that this year. We have a smaller band that competes at the local competitions, and they do all of the band camp, which we just finished up day 4 of today. They do 4 band competitions. They practice extensively. They have Saturday camps. They do a whole lot extra. So we have both of those options available for kids who, maybe they want to do it more for a social and fun atmosphere, and so they get some experience, and then we have the competition band. So when we had 9 kids register for marching band, for the football marching band, I thought we really need the visibility of 2 drum makers, so there'll be 2 on each side of the 50. And when we had our auditions, these 2 had really close, really high scores. There are things that Hannah brings to the table. Her skills, she has a great rapport with the students. I don't know anybody that doesn't like her. She has a way of problem solving. She has a lot of experience. Blake has a great command on the podium. And so there are strengths that they both have that when they come together, they're going to be an awesome team.
Yeah. I agree. And you said a word that's very interesting to me about pride. And for the 15 years that I've been part of Union the whole time, I've been very, very proud of our band. You need to be commended for that. It is something that the whole community should be proud of. When you look out there, you see 90, 100, 80 kids, and other schools just don't have those numbers. Now, pride and having pride in what you do comes from hard work. So, Hannah, Blake, tell us a little bit about the hard work that you put into having a band that we're all so proud of. Tell us how you do it, what you do, when you started, and the things that you do to get ready for competition season and for football season.
Pushing it and just, we're like a family and really tight-knit thing. And even football, like the kids that are just now doing it, they're getting into it. And the pride with it, you're like, you're this big band and you know what you want. And the older kids, hopefully the newer kids, actually get into it, feeling it, and not just being left out and thinking they're not going to get going. Working forward for the competition.
Yeah, that's very interesting. You talked about the younger kids that you guys are co-drum makers. What's your leadership role? What do y'all do to help the younger kids out there in the band to come along here and be ready for a few weeks from now?
Well, leadership role-wise, you just want to be there. You don't want to be overbearing, but you have to be that support and the push for them. You don't want to just be like stern to a point they want to quit. You just gotta keep going, but learn when you have to back off and just be there and be a friend, but still be the teacher you are.
That's actually an excellent answer.
It is.
I don't know if I could have answered it that well, to be honest.
You can echo the sentiment, but go for it.
Pretty well, but the hard work we put into it, like she said, we go through main camp, school starts back, we'll have several practices, we'll do our football show, we'll do our competition show. And again, like she said, as a drum major, you want to push your people, you don't want to be over there, and you don't want to be like making them hate you, but you do have to be a leader and not make them listen, but
Yeah. Just start the fair.
How long do you practice, Blake? How many days a week?
well, me personally, I'll practice our show, our competition show, our football show at home daily. We've been doing practice from 8 to 4 since Monday through Thursday. We're going to be doing it again tomorrow as well.
Very good.
All right, so you all keep mentioning the competition schedule. I think everybody knows Friday nights, band comes in full apart. The crowd knows all about that. One of the best entrances, I think that's one of the great things about the band. You come through the gates, you line up on the track, you play the Union Bear Stomp, everybody hopped up. But that's the soundtrack for football team, competition-wise. What goes into deciding your show? And is that the main reason for the band camp, is getting your I guess, your steps, your routines down? What goes into deciding who's going to do what role, what songs you're going to play, and what festivals you're going to attend?
Well, I think since COVID, there's been a lot of decline, I guess, in the arts programs, the band programs in the area. Some of that's due to enrollment, some of that's just due to the choices that they can make and all the activities that they can be involved in. And I'm not saying that every activity is not very difficult. It is. Band is very time consuming, and by that I mean it goes from July to May. It isn't just during football season, although I do want to say that our primary role is to be supportive of the football team. That's where we're most visible. And that's where, if we can't be out there supporting them, then we can't, in what they call the off season, we can't expect other people to support us. So our primary role and our most visible role is to support our athletic teams. And we started a basketball pit band, which we love, and that's great fun. And we're really appreciative that they include us like that. And I do feel like the last couple of years, we've really gotten, we've been able to work really well and have had a lot of positive feedback from, the coaches have been awesome. And I know Travis and Coach Boston, they both never fail to come up and say, we appreciate the band. And we, that you make a big difference. Thank you for coming. Can you come come more, and we do really appreciate that, and my kids notice that. And that is another thing that helps them build, you know, some confidence and pride, because they feel like the community is aware of what they're doing, and they're appreciative. As far as the competition, show, we do pick a show that's a little bit more, well, okay, so let's go back to the football show. We decided a couple of years ago, let's do a couple of different shows. One that's more accessible to just an average listener, something you can just really, you know, tap your foot to and recognize the music. And it's not hard, and it's fun, it's loud, whatnot. So last year we did a Temptation show. This year we're going to do music from the movie Grease. So everybody recognizes that, and it'll be fun. For the competition show, when you go and compete, shows like that don't typically do very well as far as being scored by judges, so you have to put a little more thought and effort and precision into the music, into the movements. So this year we chose a circus show, a circus themed show. We had the music written specifically for us. It's called Step Right Up, and it's a lot of movement. It's fewer kids, so there's about 90 in the football band and about 60 in the competition group. That's what they've been working on to perfect their movements. Each person, you know, has a spot, and they go to it, and they make 40 different moves and lots of different visuals, and they have to play and do all that at the same time. So that's what we're working on this week. And it's completely voluntary, and it's mostly after school. But we plan to go to 4 different band competitions, and we compete with, and it's not like in a sports setting, you compete based on the size of your school. When we do band competitions, we go based on the size of the band, regardless of your school. So, like say if we have 60, we're in a class with whatever schools have that similar number of bands. So we plan to go to Davy Crockett in Jonesboro, and that's going to be the last Saturday in September. We go to the Lonesome Pine Band Festival at Central High School on the first Saturday of October. We have an open week now, which it used to be the McChesney Festival, and with the advent of the Blue Highway Festival, we had to move back to the third week, which is October the 18th. We host that, and this will be the 44th annual McChesney Band Festival. We expect 15 bands to compete. We don't compete, we perform in what's called exhibition. We still get scores, ratings, and whatnot, but we're not eligible to win any trophies. It's just for feedback's sake. And our last competition will be the last Saturday of October, and that will be the Big Blue Classic at Richland.
Also, you kind of touched on all my questions. I was getting ready to roll out actually, you know, the McChesney is a story. Festival here at Beachcombe Gap. It's been going for a lot of years. I know it's a big deal in the town when it comes in, and I hope a lot of people come out and see it when it comes in on October the 18th. That'll be a big draw for us. I know you all do a great job of putting on us a story, playing an exhibition. I mean, does it take a little bit of a mental break performing an exhibition, or do you feel more pressure because you're the host school?
Well, I mean, of course, you don't want to go in front of your home crowd and be terrible, you know,
Right.
And you don't want the judges to say, well, you're hosting this, and this is your worst one's here. So, and then you have a lot of people coming in, and, you know, you expect, if you're hosting a group, for your group to be at least on par with everybody else coming in. So, I'm always, every time we go to a competition, and I tell the kids this, that, you know, winning is not everything, but winning is something. If you don't have competition and you don't push yourself, then what goal are you working toward? You know, not winning in trophies, that proves something, you know, like, I don't want everybody, you can't always win everything, but you gotta work toward that, and winning is something. And we're there for a reason, and we're not there to be mediocre, and you need to work toward achieving the maximum amount of success that you possibly can.
Yeah, I often say, over the years, winning's not everything, but it sure matters. And that's why you have to approach it even in band competition.
So I'm really pretty competitive in terms of anywhere we go. You know, I do compare ourselves to other people because you have to have a bar to measure yourself with. And I like to set the bar as high as we possibly can, and each year it gets a little higher. And I mean, I would be lying to the kids, and they would tell you that I would be lying if I didn't say, we're there to do the absolute best we can. We want to bring home some hardware. Just like a sports team has scores, we have scores, and we want to be the best. I mean, we want to be the best as good as we possibly can be.
All right, so let's wrap things up with a question for our co-drum makers here. All right. So we know you all have competition, you all have Friday night lights, you all have, the pet band in the gym, which I absolutely love, by the way. I love just that, brings back that old school kind of basketball mentality of the late eighties, early nineties, of just the gym being packed out. What is your all's favorite part of the band? Competition, the practice? Well, if you had to say definitively, this is why I'm in the band, what's your reason?
The reason I'm in the band is because the people are. When you're in band, it's like a weird mix of chaos and routine, and that really brings you closer to people. Some of my closest friends come from band, and also, like when you're up there performing and like, when they just follow what you're doing, it's such a good feeling. It's really hard to beat.
Well, like had a lot of good points, a lot of it, the family aspect of band, you get so close to these people, they feel like family. Sometimes, families, you get mad at them, you want to hit them, but, you think about it, you're like, man, they know more about you, and you know a lot about them, and it's that friendship you make. Because, like, practices are long, they're hard, you want to give up, but then you think about the competition and how you can perform. And then the feeling of getting a superior or something really good, celebrating out, and you're like, we did this together, because then you're a unit, you're not just yourself, you have to do it with everyone, because it's all or nothing in that.
And that's very well said. Blake, you will, I get both points, almost like you're the perfect yin and yang. I can see why you chose co-drum majors this year. I think you two are going to play very well off of each other and for the success of the band. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give another round of applause for Union's band director, Tim Frazier, Blake Gilbert, and John Henson. All right, we're going to take us one more commercial break, and we'll be back here with head coach Travis Turner of the Union football team. Stay with us. You're listening to the Union Sports Network.
Highlighting our sponsors, we've got 404 Cafe and Creamery and Big Stone Auto Drugs. Thank you, ladies.
All right, now joining us at the table, head coach of the Union Football Bears, Travis Turner, quarterback 1, Cam Bostic, and running back 1, Keith Chandler. So give a round of applause. All right, coach, the first question you asked, trying to get ready for it. All right, so Union football started in 2010, 15 seasons. We've had a lot of success, some district titles, some regional titles. I think as far as consolidated school goes, 15 really successful seasons. What can we expect for the next 15 seasons? I know that's a low question already.
I think the first 15 years that we've been here, we've had some really good athletes. I think that's something that you've got to really recommend on these guys, that they're working hard. Everybody from the first years, we've had guys like Tyler Parker, Austin Jesse, who's now on our coaching staff, all the way through James Mitchell, Tanner Kennedy, Jeff Stidham, for these guys right here, and some of these guys right here in the audience. So we've had some really good athletes the past 15 years that have made this program very successful. And another contributor to that is our coaching staff. We've got a good staff that's been together for a long time. We got 2 coaches on our staff who have coached over 40 years. Coach Tim Thomas and Coach Roger Austin, both of those guys have been coaching over 40 years. So that's something special. We don't have that a whole lot. And there's a lot of turnover in coaching with the staff and a lot of changes. And we've been very fortunate to keep these guys with us. And we got a good staff that work hard, and it's been most of the guys have been with me for 15 years. So I think that's very helpful. And also the community. I think the community is a big part of it. As you can tell here at Moondogs, this place is packed out, and it's been awesome. And Moondogs has been great to us with their donations and sponsorship, and water, helping our athletic programs out, and I think that's a big part of it too.
Yeah. So, Coach has been around the entire time for you, and I've been around the entire time. My partner a long time there. Cam, Keith, y'all been around for 4 years. What do you think about Union football? What's your thoughts about the 3 years you've played, and what are you looking forward to this final year that you play? Somebody has to go.
I'm excited for the fans. Pulling up to the park on Friday night, it's like probably the best feeling. Yeah, the atmosphere at Bull Park, it's pretty unmatched. But these last 3 years have been good.
It is a great atmosphere, that's for sure. Probably not one like it anywhere, especially for our size, anywhere around in the area or even farther out. This is proof of it, that you can come, like I said, in the opening on a random Thursday night in the summer and have this going on.
I actually got what's to come for the next 15 years, and I'm going to stay away a little bit of this. And I think this group deserves a little bit of spotlight because both of these guys went through the Union Peanut Football League. We have an in-town only team. We don't travel. We consist of 4 teams every year. These guys went through it. A lot of the folks here in attendance went through it. Their kids went through it. We've had cheerleaders come up through the Union Peanut Football League. When you have that kind of sense of community and you're able to develop your players at your own speed, not looking for wins from other towns and traveling, how big is that to the program to get ready for the daunting schedules that we seem to have every year? I think we play one of the toughest schedules year in and year out. So how do you take from playing each other as Union Peanut football players to come to the Friday night big lights and getting ready for for the Grams and the Lebanons and the HPs?
I think our Union Youth Football League is one of the best leagues in Southwest Virginia. One, because we take care of our own kids. We make sure our kids are prepared. We have 4 teams. We don't have an all-star team. Nobody's an all-star. Everybody plays. If you come to practice, you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to get a chance to play. I think that's very big for our depth. I think that's one thing that we do as teams is our depth catches a lot of people. We play a lot of kids.
Another good program we have is our middle school program. Every year we've had a very competitive middle school team, play a very tough schedule. Mr. Clinton helps run the middle school program, where he's the principal at the middle school, and those guys do a great job. And then our JV coaching staff, we've had really good JV teams through the years that they're developed, they grow, they get stronger in the weight room, and when they get to varsity, they're ready to play from day one. I think it all goes hand in hand, starting with our youth program. A guy like Roger Mullins works as hard as anybody we got, and our coaches, for our 4 youth teams, do a great job teaching fundamentals. Obviously you want to win the game, but you also want to teach the basics, the fundamentals, and teach kids how to play the game the right way, and hopefully that carries on as they come into middle school, JV, varsity, and we continue that, like these guys have, and the guys that are out here in the crowd that's played for the Chiefs, Packers, Chargers, and Dolphins. That's a big deal.
I don't want to brag, but I was on the 1985 Packers championship.
Hey, I wasn't alive.
Coach, I want to go back to Coach Black's interview because I enjoyed her answer. And I want to ask you the same question. These two, you're a little bit older, and these two don't remember you playing. Obviously, a lot of us in here do, and I certainly do. You are a very, 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 very good football player. How has that helped you to make these two the best version of themselves that they are? What can you instill in them from what you were as a player?
Well, I appreciate you telling me I was a really good player. But, was very fortunate to be on some really good Appalachian football teams.
Oh, you were, yeah.
In the 90s, being able to win 3 state titles in 4 years, and having a chance to go play college football and play at a high level. I think playing on a college level, you get to see things a little bit different. Things change a little bit. You kind of learn from that, and hopefully I've been able to bring some of that, the way we practice. I think our practice schedules, the way we do things is kind of a college type practice. I think we do a really good job with our coaches. We're always coaching. There's not a whole lot of dead time. We're 2 groups. We've got a varsity group, a JV group, and everybody's doing something. I think that's helped. And I've always talked to these guys, and our guys that's out here in the Moondog's restaurant here, that you got to represent yourself, represent what you do, take pride in your work, and enjoy it. You got to enjoy playing football. Football's a tough sport for tough people. You got to enjoy it.
Now, I will tell you this too. You played in the 90s. I was even older than you. It's a lot different. Football's a lot different in 2025, isn't it? What's the biggest difference you think between playing then and the game that Cam and Keith here play?
I agree with you. I think football has definitely evolved. We were known as 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of football at Appalachian, and that was our style of football we played. And I think the game has changed. I think the athletes have changed. I think athletes are more athletic. They can do a lot more. We got dual threat quarterbacks. We've got running backs that can go play wide receiver, run the football in between the tackles. We got tight ends. We're very fortunate with Cameron Morton and Carlos Anderson, who can play the traditional tight end, or they could go out and be flexed out as a wide receiver and kind of be a full threat out there, wide out and tight end. So I think that's one place the game has changed, because it's a little bit more wide open, get more people involved, and a lot of that is the summer. I think the summer 7-on-7 competitions has really kind of changed that too.
All right, this one's for Cam and Keith. Okay, so this is your senior year. You've been playing football for a long time, both of you. Who's been your biggest influence? Whether personally, professionally, who is it you try to mimic, or your play style when it comes to the football field? Who's your go-to to look up to?
I'd probably say my dad. He's coached me most of my playing career, about everything. Now we play different positions, but he knows a lot and he helps me.
Yeah.
Get through everything. I'd have to say like my dad too, because I try to mimic how he played. He's a hard-nosed player,
and he's always taught me to be the toughest I can be, and I'll just try to be up there.
For those that don't know, Keith and Kim's dad is both very, very good football players. In their own time. So, Coach, let's flip the script a little bit. Let's talk about our schedule coming up just a little bit. We open the season at Lehigh, Battle of the Bucket. Then we have our first home game against an opponent we've not seen yet, Daniel Boone. Let's talk about those couple of weeks coming up, the first 2 games. One away, one at home.
Start off week 1, we go to 5-Star Stadium, play Lehigh. That's always been a pretty good rival, even when it was the Powell Valley Lehigh games. I think back then it was Battle of the Boot, am I correct? Yeah. Had Battle of the Boot, and now it's Battle of the Bucket. Southwest Insurance does a good job sponsoring that. And, it's always been a good rival. It's that first game, everybody's excited for the first game. And we expect a good crowd. We're going to bring a good crowd, I believe. I think we're going to bring a great crowd. So if you can't get excited about going to 5-Star Stadium and playing against Lehigh Generals, I don't know what you get excited about. The second game is Daniel Boone. Like you said, this is the first time we're playing Daniel Boone at Union High School. I've got a pretty good relationship with Daniel Boone's head coach. Appalachia's played Daniel Boone a couple of times when I was an assistant coach there. So they're I think they're a 5A school, big school that's coming to Bullock Park, and it's going to be the WCYB game of the week. So we'll be on TV that game. So we should have the park packed out and everybody excited to be able to play.
All right, Cam, Keith, another question for you all. So it's game day, school just let out. You got 3 hours until kickoff, 7 o'clock kickoff. What's your game day prep consist of? If you've got on earbuds, headset, whatever, what's your music playlist?
I put my headphones on, and I kind of just stay in the locker room and just sit there. That's about all I do, really. And I really listen to like old band rock, like AC/DC, Metallica, music like that. When I get over there after school, I'm one of the first people in there. As soon as I get in there, I get taped and put on my stuff on, and then I just sit there, don't even talk to nobody. I'd say as far as music goes, probably some Drake and some AC/DC a little bit.
So let's be honest. You both are seniors, been 3 years playing crowds of 3,000-4,000. Do you get nervous?
I wouldn't call it nervous. A little bit of pressure, a little bit, but pressure's a good thing to have. If you're in pressure, that means you got a lot of people there watching, big crowd. It means you feel something right.
I also always believe that if you felt pressure, it means you cared a little bit. It means you cared about what you were getting ready to do. What about you, Keith? You get nervous?
I'm probably nervous for every game until the first hit. I mean, once I get the first hit, then I'm good for the rest of the game.
Are you more nervous then or answering these questions in front of you?
Definitely now. Answering questions.
I understand that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the first football game, as we said, will be at 5-Star Stadium, Ben Hur, Virginia. Take on the Lehigh Generals, the Southwest Insurance Brawl for the Bucket. First home game of the season will be Daniel Boone at Bullock Park. I know everybody's going to show up, be loud, cheer for these guys. So let's give one more round of applause to Coach Travis Turner, Keith Chandler, and Ken Boston. That's going to wind up our coaching show here a little bit, Coach. So I was informed we didn't have sound for the golf season. So I'm going to apologize to Roman and Wes because they were great. So I think we're going to have to go ahead and schedule a mid-season show. So everybody can be on the lookout for that, and we'll bring them back out for that. But there was a list of thank yous that I did not get to touch on, and I want to touch back on them. First of all, the administration at Union High School, Jerry Chandler, Tyler McFarland. Also want to thank Paul Clean, who is the administration at Union Middle School. Want to thank Moondog Brick Oven Pizza, Big Sun Gap, for allowing us to come in and pretty much invade their restaurant, because this was not, this was a standing room only kind of deal. I also want to thank Hannah McCamus and Isaiah McCamus for all their hard work behind the scenes. I want to thank Brandy Bostic for all of her hard work behind the scenes, making our game day graphics and quarter graphics and any kind of graphic that you possibly think that she's the absolute best.
Mr. McFarland and Mr. Chandler for having the vision to do this. We're the first ones to do something like this. It's been great. Yeah, thank you to everyone that came out.
Yeah, just a reminder, we will have our Meet the Bears, annual Meet the Bears tomorrow night at Appalachia for the Coal Railroad Days. It will kick off at 7 o'clock. Also, I'd like to thank the cheerleaders in Union High School. Thanks to those ladies for coming out. They did not have to, and they just, I thought they elevated the program. They made us look 10 times better than what we did. So big shout out to them, and thanks to Daniel Ashcroft, their coach. So with that being said, we're going to wrap it up here from Moondog. Thanks once again from Moondog Brick Oven Pizza, from my partner, Paul Clinton.